The first time I saw Princess Leora of Etherian, she stood beneath the fractured skies of her dying world, her silver hair drifting like cosmic fire in the charged air. I had traveled across 3 star systems, risked ambushes by raiders, escaped the watchful eyes of the Dominion Council, all to deliver a message from Earth. But what I found was a nation teetering on extinction, and a princess struggling to save it. Etherian had once been the jewel of the Andromedan border systems. Cities suspended above oceans of glowing plasma, energy harvested from the blue storms that curled around the planet's equator, and towers that appeared carved from pure starlight. But centuries of internal conflict and a mysterious energy plague had left the Etherian Empire in ruins. Captain Rylan Ward, stepped off my shuttle expecting a formal diplomatic reception. Instead, I found Princess Leora alone in the ruins of a shattered observatory, tracing her hand along a cracked console as if remembering what it once was. "You're late," she said without turning back. Her voice was soft, but it carried command. "I had to dodge a few Dominion ships," I replied, removing my helmet. "They don't exactly approve of Earth helping you." Leora turned to me then. Her eyes, luminescent blue, swirling like galaxies, studied me with a mixture of curiosity and exhaustion. She wore light Etherian battle armor, elegant yet scorched from recent combat. "My people are disappearing," she said. "If your planet's cure works, you'll have saved thousands." Her hope was fragile, and it weighed on me. I didn't come just to deliver the cure file. I came because of the message she had secretly sent me months ago. A message that had changed my life. Beginning, the princess and the promise. 6 months earlier, during a failed peace summit between Earth and the Etherian Empire, Leora had approached me. Not as a princess, not as a diplomat, but as someone lonely. "I've studied your culture," she had said, her face partially hidden under a shimmering hood. "Your people understand loyalty in ways we have forgotten." I didn't know what she meant then, but I soon learned she was more than a royal figurehead. She was the only one fighting to save her dying empire. We spoke in secret for hours. About her world, my world, her fear of becoming the last of her kind, my desire to break free from Earth's military shackles. And before I knew it, she became the brightest presence in my life. When the summit collapsed and war erupted again, she sent me one final encrypted message. "If Etherian falls, I will die with it. But if you come, I might find a reason not to." I didn't hesitate. I stole a starship and flew to her. The collapse of Etherian. The cure I brought was only part of what her world needed. Dominion forces had launched a full invasion 3 days earlier, turning the once floating cities into burning wreckage. Etherian soldiers were fighting desperately, using outdated weapons and dwindling energy sources. Leora led them personally. Everywhere she went, morale rose. Her presence alone was enough to push her people to keep going. The night after my arrival, we sheltered inside the ruins of the Crystalline Palace. Fires burned in the distance, red and blue lights flickering against broken walls. I handed her the cure module. She held it with trembling hands. "This could save us," she whispered. "Rylan, you've done more than my own council." "They abandoned you," I said. "I never will." For a moment, her expression softened. She moved closer. "You left your world for me. Why?" I opened my mouth to answer, but before I could speak, alarms blared across the palace ruins. Dominion dropships were descending. Leora's eyes hardened. "We fight." The Battle of the Falling Palace. The Dominion's elite guard stormed the ruins, their metallic armor glowing crimson with heat. Explosions thundered across the shattered hallways. Leora led the defense, her staff weapon blazing with shimmering energy. I fought beside her, taking down soldiers with my rifle, shielding her when the ceiling collapsed from a plasma blast. But the enemy was overwhelming, pushing us back toward the edge of the floating platform that once held the palace. A Dominion commander stepped forward, his voice metallic and cold. "Princess Leora, surrender. Your empire is finished." She lifted her chin proudly. "My people will survive." The commander laughed. "Not after we destroy what remains of your capital." Leora's hands tightened around her staff. "We couldn't win this fight. Not without reinforcements." I activated the emergency beacon I had hidden in my armor. A powerful flare shot into the sky. "Rylan, what did you do?" she asked, shocked. "Called for help." "From who?" "Everyone who still believes in you." Within minutes, rogue Etherian fighters, pilots still loyal to Leora, appeared from the storm clouds. They strafed the Dominion forces, forcing them back. We surged forward, and the Dominion commander retreated. The battle was won. But Leora collapsed to her knees, exhausted and trembling. I caught her before she hit the ground. "You're pushing yourself too hard. My people need me, and I need you alive," I whispered. She stared into my eyes.
"Why?
Why do you care so deeply?" Because she had become everything to me. Because every night for months, her voice was the only thing that kept me sane. Because I was willing to cross galaxies for her. I ran my hand gently down her cheek. "Because I love you." Her breath caught.
She didn't speak.
She simply leaned into my hand, allowing herself, for the first time, to be vulnerable. The confession. "I wish to marry you." We retreated to an abandoned aerial garden high above the battlefield. The sun was rising, its golden light casting sparkles across the floating shards of crystal flora. Leora sat beside me on a broken bench, her armor removed, her silver hair blowing in the soft breeze. "Rylan," she said quietly, "my world is collapsing. Even if the cure works, it may be too late. The Dominion will return with more strength. We'll fight. Together." She smiled sadly. "You speak like Etherian-born." "Maybe I am now." Silence settled between us, peaceful yet heavy. It hit me then. This might be our only calm moment before the end. And if I didn't say the words now, I never would. I rose, stepped in front of her, and held out my hand. "Leora," I said softly, "I wish to marry you." She froze. Her luminous eyes widened, reflecting the rising sun. Her breath trembled as she looked at me, not as a princess, not as a warrior, but as a woman afraid to hope. "Rylan," she whispered, "you can't mean that." "I do, with everything I am." She looked away abruptly, as if trying to hide tears. "You're human," she said. "I'm Etherian. Different lifespan, different biology, different destiny. I don't care. My empire could fall within days. Then let me stand with you until the last one." Her lips parted, but she said nothing. I knelt. Her eyes snapped toward me. "Marry me," I repeated, voice firm. "Not for treaties, not for politics, but because the moment I met you, I felt like I had found a future worth fighting for." The silence that followed felt like eternity. Finally, she stood, not backing away, but stepping closer. Her hand lifted to my chin, gently raising my face to hers. Then, voice trembling, she said, "I agree." My heart slammed against my ribs. Etherian tradition dictated that an acceptance needed only those two words. Her eyes shimmered with emotion as she whispered, "Yes, Rylan, I will marry you." And then she leaned forward and kissed me, soft, hesitant, but filled with everything she had never been allowed to feel. Ending. The new dawn of Etherian, our moment didn't last long. Dominion dreadnoughts pierced the clouds, unleashing storms of plasma fire. Etherian rebels scrambled to defend the capital. The cure needed to be delivered to the central biocore before the planet-wide infection became irreversible. Leora squeezed my hand. Time to save my people and our future. Side by side, we boarded her personal skystreaker vessel. We dodged enemy fire, weaving through collapsing towers and burning skybridges. I manned the ship's cannons while Leora piloted with impossible precision. We reached the biocore tower just as Dominion cruisers descended. Leora rushed inside with the cure module. I held the entrance alone, firing at incoming soldiers, determined not to let anyone through. Minutes later, a radiant pulse erupted from the tower, spreading across the entire planet. The cure had worked. Etherian's energy field stabilized, and the plague was neutralized. Leora emerged, eyes shining with triumph. "It's done," she said. "My people will live." Our celebration was cut short by a final explosion overhead. A Dominion battleship plummeted in flames, crashing into the distant valley. The war wasn't over, but Etherian had survived its darkest night, and we had survived ours. Leora stepped beside me, taking my hand in hers. "From this day," she whispered, "you are bound to my heart, not as a soldier, not as an outsider, but as the one I chose." "And I choose you," I replied. She leaned her head against my shoulder as the skies cleared above us. Together, we watched the sun rise over the reborn capital, two souls from different worlds, united by war, fate, and a promise spoken beneath a dying sky. "I wish to marry you." And she had turned and agreed.